Oh, let's go. Oh, there it goes. As soon as I bend over to pick something up. That was a nice way to start this video, wasn't it? Anyway, so we're going to do another Batman, the animated series watch along, and this is Heart of Ice. One of the best episodes of the series. Won an Emmy. Pretty impressive stuff. Reinvented the character of Mr. Freeze and made him into a serious villain, which before he was considered kind of a campy joke. Hmm. Now, I'm well known for my love of the Adam West Batman television series, and I don't want to seem like I'm having any kind of disrespect towards it because I actually think it's one of the best versions of the character. However, by 1989, well, let's say 1988, before even, I was more than ready for a dark and serious interpretation of Batman in live action or animation, as Adam West was still dominating everything as far as the character goes. And like I said, I love Adam West, but there's more to Batman than just that. So I wanted something that was a little closer to the Neil Adams type of Batman, the Jim Aparo type of Batman, the Frank Miller type of Batman that was starting to become popular at that time. And when Tim Burton brought out his Batman movie with Jack Nicholson as the Joker, Michael Keaton as Batman, it was exactly what I needed at the time. It was dark and it was serious and it was edgy and it was really cool. So I was really excited to hear that there was a sequel on the way with Danny DeVito as the Penguin. Perfect casting. Michelle Pfeiffer would eventually play Catwoman, and she was somebody I was already a big fan of as a young man. Michael Keaton coming back as Batman. Pretty thrilled about that. But something that got me even more excited was they were going to do a new cartoon show of Batman, and I was hoping that it would be something special because it's Batman. But I wasn't really expecting anything too much, honestly. I'd been watching cartoons all through the '80s, and I was thinking about stuff like, as much as I enjoyed it at the time, the cartoon shows of G.I. Joe and He-Man and Transformers and things like that. And so when I saw the designs of it, I was just kind of utterly baffled because they were just so simplistic looking. And I'm like, what are they doing with this thing? I was thinking it was going to wind up looking like Clutch Cargo or something because I had no idea how well animated this show was going to be. You don't understand how shocked I was when I first saw the footage on commercials for the shows. And I was just blown away because I'm like, this looks like a Fleischer cartoon. It's that kind of animation. It's gonna look good. I'm excited about this. So I tuned in that Saturday morning for that sneak peek episode, Cat and Claw Part 1 with bated breath. Loved it. Then we got On Leather Wings. Loved it even more. And then we got to this episode, and I'm like, I'm wondering who's going to be the villain on it. Starts out Heart of Ice. Ice. Maybe it's the Penguin, because they are trying to give him a push because of, the Batman Returns movie and whatnot. But then I was kind of surprised to see it was going to be Mr. Freeze. And right from the beginning, I could tell it was a Mr. Freeze like I was never going to see before. Because, on the on the Adam West Batman television show, he was kind of played for laughs. I mean, part of why I like the first two-parter with George Sanders as Mr. Freeze is that he actually plays the character pretty straight and has a real sense of menace to him. It's the later versions that are kind of a little more campy, but Otto Preminger is the one that everybody remembers. George Sanders is freaking awesome. So when I watched this episode, I was surprised at the amount of sympathy and pathos that they were able to wring out of this character. Now, remember, like I said, the character wasn't taken all that seriously at the time, and in fact, they actually killed him off in the comics in the Robin 2 comic book miniseries, the second Robin comic book miniseries, as you might guess from the title. The Joker actually kills Mr. Freeze with his joy buzzer. and they had to bring him back after this show made him like ridiculous popular. So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and start with Heart of Ice. Warner Bros. Logo fades into a blimp, and we're panning down, and it's a bank, and it's about to get blown up real good by those shifty-looking characters. But don't worry, here comes Batman. I'm just gonna have to find a different way to narrate this every time. So, cops are chasing these guys down, but apparently cops don't know how to climb fire escapes, at least not as fast as these guys. And here comes Batman with his, perfectly clean lip without a speck of dirt on it, and takes out these henchmen no problem. I like that they have blimps on the show. I don't know why, but it just makes me happy. I wish blimps were more practical. I like blimps. Heart of Ice, and we do not have the title card that would come to become famous with this. Instead, we've got like animated snowfall coming down, and what we will soon find out is a figurine in a snow globe. The monster who took you from me will soon the way those eyes open up. Oh man, I gotta tell you, as soon as I finished watching this episode, I took my Toy Biz Mr. Freeze action figure and some permanent markers and drew some goggles on him. But yeah, I love Mr. Freeze's voice on this. Michael Ansara does a great job, and the flanging they put on it. And speaking of voice actors, Mark Hamill plays Ferris Boyle. He actually did this before he did the Joker. And then when he said, hey, I might like to do some more voices for this show, they were like, yeah, well, we need to cast a new guy to play the Joker. I guess he can try out for that. like Luke Skywalker is going to be a good Joker or whatever. And then he winds up knocking it out of the park, of course. Batman figuring stuff out. And now we have that from Zimbalist as, love that shot. Look, it's Ice, the Iceman wants. We're still going to have a few episodes with Clive Rebel because these are in air date order rather than production order. God, the animation is so good. Like, even, like, over 30 years later, going back and watching this, the animation just looks so amazing. And, some episodes, the animation is going to be better than others, but this is one where I feel like the animation is just really particularly excellent. And of course, fans of the 1989 Batman movie will be familiar with the grappling hook that Batman has in his Batmobile, so he can hit those sharp corners. But also in this case, it kept him from wiping out too much on that ice. Freezing effects are really cool. I wonder if they were inspired at all by Godzilla's atomic breath, because that's pretty much what it looked like in the movies at the time. It's not just the way that Ansara plays the character, which, he does a great job with that, don't get me wrong, but that flanging just really makes his voice stand out. It's really cool. Uh-oh. Nice. That's Mr. Freeze to you. You think he would be more, you think he would be more insistent that people call him Doctor. His own henchmen are collateral damage. His condition is getting cold to your pleas of mercy. Hmm. No thanks. No honor among thieves. Even for a guy named Freeze, that's cold. Batman having more compassion for that guy than his fellow crooks. He's not going to leave him like that. Good thing Batman has his own back to tank. Hey, last time I saw one of those, Mark Hamill was in it. That's our Batman. And he's got lots of nice Kenneth Strickfaden Frankenstein equipment. Some nice movement on Batman there. I like that.
He's going through. Hot chemical that's the truth. You could use a hot bath yourself. I can't believe you were cold. After that, drops off consciousness. These are orders. Bruce Wayne with Mr. Spoil. Bruce Wayne. It's been forever. How have you been? Still the terror of the Gotham Knights? Speaking of terror, what's this I hear about someone causing trouble? That me. Well, Blue Cape has it out for my account. I don't know why. Maybe it's an investor who lost money. Or an angry ex-employee. Only one man can gosport that much. For a while. Who? One of our scientists. Says whack. He was caught using company equipment for personal reasons. And semi-security. Fight, explosion, chaos. What was he doing? Wasting company money. Mine. Great PR. But when the wage slaves start acting like they own it, it's time to pull the plug. Know what I mean? I'll be right out.
That sounds kind of like Arlene Sorkin.
Humanitarian industrial. Yes, he's winning. You're ill. Excuse me. My fault. Congratulations on your work. Well,
Sarcasm.
and I want to say, I'm for it. That can't stop work. I in no way changed our personal business.
He goes through more TVs that way. Now, on a later episode, we'll find out that Nora is actually alive, but at this time, Mr. Freeze does believe her to be dead. I'm pretty sure it was Paul Dini's original intention that Nora would have died, and I get the feeling that he prefers she would have stayed that way. Oh, it's going to come in handy. Another bored security guard.
Mr. Boyle said me to enjoy yourself. Hey, Ray! You okay? I'm fine. Take off.
So see, not just Kevin Conroy doing another background character voice. That's Batman. You tell by his bat sneeze. He's lucky it was Batman that relieved him of duty and not some bad guy. It's the reason why I say in security work, boring is good. You want to be bored. Nora Freeze. And a VHS tape. Kind of funny with like all the, attempts to make this kind of like 1930s feeling. Probably the most dated stuff is actually the 90s technology that makes it into it, like the VHS tapes and things like that.
Get away from that! Stop! This is fun! You're Please sit down. I'm already bringing in a debt back to you. You can't stop a guy. My wife is a girl. Still paying her around. You can't interrupt the process now. No. You only can. This is nice. I say this project ends now.
What a jerk.
Oh! Stay away from her. I love my dad. Please, we can talk.
With snowflakes coming in. So, like a true Batman villain, Boyle just left the room and assumed that everything went according to plan and Freeze was dead. But he wasn't. Batman went out his utility belt. Freeze was actually smart enough to take Batman's utility belt.
I'm beyond emotions. They've been frozen dead. That's a liar. Very good. A detective, alas. I can no longer survive. I have something. Night I mean to pay back the man who ruled my life. Our even if you have to kill everyone
this little speech here.
Never again you walk upon someone's face without that wind in your face and a warm hand to hold. Oh yes, I'll kill for that. Let's go.
Yeah. Last time I saw this happen to somebody, it was Mark Hamill. Batman doesn't even have a lightsaber. At least not in this series. Gothcorp Inc. The People Company. Kind of sparse for such a gala. But we can only afford to animate so many people.
Jeez.
To be fair, it's Gotham City. He probably sees people more weirdly dressed than this every day. I wonder if it's a coincidence that all his henchmen are dressed like Captain Cold. Maybe in the DC animated universe, Captain Cold got his start as one of Mr. Freeze's henchmen. Moves to Central City, and he's taking with him some of Mr. Freeze's blueprints for his freezing gun or whatever. Oh, hey, we got people watching. I'm watching. I'm Alexander Lee. Yeah, I'm watching Heart of Ice on HBO Max. So if you want to watch the whole episode with me, just once this is over, you can start it over again. But there it is. You want to see it real quick? Yeah, it's Heart of Ice. It's Alan Belk. And Batman's got his belt back. This is why when people say Batman needs a cowl where he can turn his head, I'm like, Batman doesn't need to turn his head. That's all he needs. Making like Iceman there.
The cold eyes of vengeance are upon you, Boyle.
I do think it's pretty funny that his enemy is a guy named Boyle. Freeze, Boyle. That was clever.
I've seen my heart behind your glass, begging to me with frozen eyes. How I long to see that look frozen on you.
Oh, Batman to the rescue. Even a guy that's a scumbag. Yeah, I'm watching Heart of Ice. Even somebody like Ferris Boyle, he's gonna protect him. Yeah, remember that fat guy you lifted in the last couple episodes? Well, guess what? chicken soup. You ever tried to pour hot liquid into a cold glass or cold liquid into a hot glass? Yeah, that's what just happened to Mr. Freeze's helmet. Justice.
A year ago, Ferris Oil interrupted the experiment, and the process destroyed 2 lives. Here's the evidence. Good night, humanitarian.
Well, put a link to your father's YouTube channel in the comments. I will check them out.
I wish there were enough people to say it. I can only beg your forgiveness and pray you hear me somehow.
He starts to tear up. The tears roll down his face. And the tears become the snowflakes in his skull. You gotta feel bad for the guy. I suspect even Batman does. So that was Heart of Ice. And even this early in the series, I think it's safe to say that this was one of the best episodes. Didn't quite make it in time to freeze frame the voice actors. So yeah, additional actors. Voice was Michael Bell, Robert David Hall, John Mariano. So it doesn't really say anything about who would have played Boyle's secretary, but it did sound an awful lot like Arlene Sorkin. So yeah, that was Heart of Ice. Still one of my favorite episodes of the show. Reinvented the character of Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze would probably not be anywhere near as popular a character today as he would if not for that episode. So our next episode, which I will probably watch tomorrow, will be a 2-parter episode, and I think you should watch The Writing Carousel at Lake George Nathaniel Lee. Well, I'll try to look that up then. I'll give that a watch. So yeah, the next episode will be the 2-parter Feet of Clay, which introduces Clayface. I'm looking forward to that one. It should be pretty good. I haven't seen that one in a long time. I remember the animation being particularly good on that episode. And that's another one where it's like, they took kind of like what in lesser hands would be a goofy Silver Age villain and injected him with a lot of drama and pathos. And I'm sorry, you're what? Well, I guess you got interrupted there. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. And tomorrow I will be doing another Batman the Animated Series episode. I'll probably do both episodes of that one because that's a 2-parter. And then I believe the next one after that should be Joker's Favor. So that'll be the introduction to this version of the Joker and also the first appearance of Harley Quinn. So that's going to be the last that's going to be the end of this episode. We will talk to you next time. Bye.